about this thick with all the appendices, but it was the Association of General Contractors. They wrote a document within the last 3 to 6 months, and that the number that they're doing for wastewater type projects is 30%. Just, I mean, as a starting point, put 30% on top of what things have typically been estimated. So if we've been in the upper 30s or low 40s, it's kind of lining up with that. That's not the limit to say that's as low as a number would be. We get the question of, 2-3 years from now, will we see the market and the conditions settle down and the prices come down? There's a lot of people that hope that. We haven't seen anything that says that for sure. I mean, or that that's what's going to happen. It could continue to go up. We're going to monitor that very closely, and the idea of having a contractor verify we think is helpful. It's a reality check as opposed to an engineer's estimate that would be low because of the market conditions that we're not. That's not what we're best at doing, is anticipating pricing things looking forward. Does that make sense? So establishing a ceiling, how it gets paid for, how the allocation is, that'll get worked out here in the next couple of months. So Baker Tilly will work on that, what that allocation could look like. That will be shared with those that are going to be paying it, existing ratepayers, the city, IPC, Carroll County redevelopment, and see what this looks like.
And it's also good to remember too that, we're forecasting this, I think it's over a 4 to 10 year time frame. So there'd be some phasing, there'd be between the phasing, between the distribution, it's start with the total and the big number, but that will be pivoting parts accordingly to what it needs to be.
So that first phase is, 2 years ago before the pandemic, was it 2.5 to 3 million, right, Colin? From a contractor. 6 months ago when we asked that question, it's 5.5.
It's 5.5.
It hasn't doubled, but it's about 80% increase from the same project. A little bit added on the drive and some things that was more than 30% in that case for the project that was anticipated is what they've seen in the pricing.
And that's the clarifier.
But yeah, just that phase 1. So just a lot of, I'm just stressing there is a lot of uncertainty in what things cost now for construction projects. We think we put the marker out there that's high, but time will tell.
Use that as a planning level budget.
Mm-hmm.
That's
correct.
Are there any other questions or? Say if you guys would like to learn more, say it one more time, April 26th at 2:30.
2:30. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
One thing is all that's transpired here on costs in the last 24 months, it's like I'm glad we got the water and have that thing in the ground. It's that's checked off the list, and fortunate to have that. Not in the middle of that, and certainly it doesn't help us on the wastewater, but it's good to know we have that one done. Not having both of those projects would be at the same time of all this uncertainty.
Presentation, is there a motion to approve resolution 2022-7?
Second.
Any discussion? First one, all those in favor of approving 2022-7, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will take a signed copy. We'll remain to the meeting. We'll take that out here tonight, a signed copy, or make sure we get that submitted by May 3rd.
Signature, who had done that, the other parent signed it.
Leanne has
You
the
have it? Okay.
task order one. Mayor, do you have a clean copy of the resolution? Okay, I have one if needed.
Yeah, we'll probably sign the one that you have.
Okay. We want to sign two, you keep one, or keep one, then that works.
So, JT, could you provide a quick update on 402, because I know, Cody was probably interested in that.
Yes, Mayor.
And I'm not sure that all of council was here when we went through that before the works.
Yes, so I had more work, we had an update again on some of those continued properties that we've addressed, and so specifically on 402 South Washington Street, from the last meeting that we had held, we issued an abatement notice, a very strict deadline. So the deadline was the 12th to have it completed, what needs to be done there. It's not completed, however, the owner did show up on around the 11th, and boarded up on the side of Water Street. Did provide some communication that still has some more plans to get things accomplished, but obviously we've had this ongoing discussion back since January. And so from discussion tonight, the board works. I'm going to reach out to the owner tomorrow and give him the deadline that we want to see at least substantial, significant completion by the 29th. If not, we have already had two contractors that I met them out there at the building, along with Blue Hayden, just to kind of look through the property as far as what needs to be done. So we have those quotes in hand. So should the owner from this last notification, hey, 29, at the very minimum of substantial, significant completion, if that doesn't occur, we already have those quotes in hand, so then further action could be presented and taken from there to abate the issue at that building. Any questions? Thank you.
Now we're ready for miscellaneous business. Are there any comments or requests from the council beginning this country?
Can I ask that we, ask about public comment for council comment?
Sure.
Is there anybody in the public who would like to speak?
My name is Nathan Lamar. I'm with Indiana Fitness Club and Ranco Realty. First of all, thank you to the board. Small Business Resilience Grant speaks volumes to the city of Delphi and the climate here for small businesses. I know that the majority of you spent a lot of time on that, and that's also to include the clerk treasurer and the mayor. So thank you for setting the stage here in Delphi for small businesses. Also, those of you that may have worked on the River District liquor license, I preach to as many small business people as I can that we have such a small business friendly community, both with the small business resiliency and with the River District liquor license. I would love to get a restaurant in here to take advantage of that and the pieces that you have put in place to make that happen. I'm here talking as briefly as I can about council responsibilities. I picture you as a legislative body. We heard a lot tonight about wastewater. I don't expect to see any of you putting boots on and going down and loading that solids truck. We talked about demolition orders. I don't expect any of you to go out and grab a shovel. Parking time. I don't expect any of you to go out and be marking tires and writing parking tickets. I don't think the city insurance policy would want you to be out doing those things. So a councilwoman took it upon themselves over the weekend to go out and act as an enforcement body to a food truck. Now that councilwoman led the board of works to believe that they were only asking clarifying questions. However, that business told me, quote, she identified herself as a councilwoman and, quote, they weren't supposed to be there and didn't do things correctly. So in such an environment that you've created to bring small businesses to this community, someone's on council trying to dispel that just as hard as we're working to get it here. So I hope that the council will take the opportunity to talk about your responsibilities. If that includes enforcement and I'm in error, I apologize, but I hope that gets spelled out. Thank you.
I'm gonna respond to that, because I was at the planning board work meeting and not everybody was here. I did go down Saturday and I talked to one of the food vendors, because we had a conversation, and I've had a couple of conversations with President Pro Tem Canary through email regarding regarding what was going on, and your concern was with the permitting issue. And I went down and I asked the gal that was here with the truck called Taste of Chicago, I said, can I ask you a couple of questions? She said, yes. I said, can I ask you, how you were made aware of what was going on here today and how you knew that you could come? And she said Valerie from the Chamber of Commerce invited her to come and told her that all she needed to do was go to the Carroll County Health Department and get a permit, which she did. And she asked me if I wanted to see it, and I said, no, I don't need to see it. I said, was there anything else that you were required to do permit-wise, like from the city or with the police department? And she said, no, am I in trouble? And I said, no, I'm just trying to get some information because we've been discussing this and I wanna learn how it's working from your side. She said, well, Valerie was just here, do you want me to call her? And I said, that's not necessary, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions. And she said, am I in trouble? And I said, no, you're not in trouble, I just wanted to find out how this worked. And she said, have a good day, and I said, have a good day, and that was the end of it. And twice now, this evening, I have been called out as my actions being disgusted, trying to enforce something that I wasn't entitled to enforce, and harassing someone for them coming. And I take exception to that, and you are wrong. And if you wanna bring the gal here to a meeting, I'll be happy to have a conversation with her, because you're getting hearsay from both sides of us. All you're getting is what I'm telling you, and you're getting what she told you. So I'd be more than happy to have her come and have an open discussion in our meeting. Because what you just accused me of saying did not come out of my mouth.
Any other public comments?
Mayor, I'm not sure this falls under public comment. Already, JT actually brought this up regarding the meeting of the 26th. You may want to designate council members that are going to attend, that way you don't accidentally have a quorum violation of the laws.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to attend that meeting on the 26th at 2:30? I know it's at an awkward time.
I want to go.
Pardon? You will go?
I don't know if he's looking at it.
Okay, so it sounds as if Sandy or
Do you want one of us, I can try to get out of school a few minutes early if you want one of us there.
Sandy has indicated.
You're good to go? Okay.
Yeah, and this will, I mean, there's gonna be an opportunity after Baker Tilly does the consolidation. That's likely gonna be a Butler Fairman, Baker Tilly communication to the council, so I expect you hear back from related to the wastewater project here in the next 30 to 60 days, once that cost allocation gets determined.
I did have one thing that I wanted to mention, which is that, as part of our code enforcement, we will be bringing on a part-time person to do parking enforcement around, particularly around the square downtown. This will be paid for out of the code enforcement line item. Don't know quite the number of hours yet, we'll determine that, but, that is the one area that we're really not getting covered with all of the properties that we have that, we're trying to bring into compliance, so it's an ongoing, need that we'd like to try to meet. Any other comments from council? Clerk Treasurer Aldrich? Yep. Okay, there's one last motion for me. 7:04 p.m. Thank you very much. You all remain safe.
John?